The Onyx Boox Note Plus features a 10.3-inch e-ink display with a resolution of 1872 by 1404 with 227 ppi. Unlike the original Note, this actually has a scratch-resistant glass-based layer with an electromagnetic handwriting Wacom support layer for stylus and also a capacitive layer for touchscreen interactions. It has a 1.6 GHz quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, dual speakers, a microphone, Bluetooth, and USB-C. It is running for its operating system, Android 6.0. The Onyx Boox Note Plus primarily appeals to two different segments of people. One is the consumers, where it has ebook functionality for 5 or 6 different formats. You also have apps that allow you to play casual games, download alternative apps, have a little bit of fun. Then there's the professional aspect, which is taking digital notes via the stylus. Let's take a little tour of the device. Primarily, aside from the home screen, this is your library. There's many different ways that you could view it, gridded and list view. You can search by particular authors. You can do things like that. It mentions the format that it's in, as you can see, PDF, text, EPUB, things like that. Although this doesn't have an SD card, this is where your device's internal storage is. So if you sideload content, APKs and things like that, you can find everything here. If you long press anything here in terms of content, you can actually delete it right from your device, copy, remove folders, properties, etc. So this is running 6.0. It does come with the Google Play Store, which will be accessible in a future firmware update, but all the apps that we have installed are from our own Goody Reader app store, which we've sideloaded. You can see all of the apps that we sideloaded actually have dedicated icons: Spotify Light, Firefox Rocket, Kindle Light, and then you have default WebKit browser, calculator, clock, dictionaries. The settings menu is pretty basic in terms of big icons that load up different things, text-to-speech languages, applications, calibration for the stylus or for touchscreen interactions, your Wi-Fi, about firmware updates. You can run system updates and things like that. The Note tab launches the note-taking experience, which I'll show you later, and then there's the default web browser. It's a bit sluggish on here, but it pretty well allows you to visit like your favorite web page. I think I'm a bigger fan of Firefox Rocket, which we'll show you during the app segment.
So although you can sideload any application you wish, this is the stock reading experience. If you tap in the center, you have quite a bit of options here: font face, text-to-speech, refresh, slideshow, contrast, etc. Font face is going to be your go-to. It defaults on Chinese font faces because this is from China, but then you can go to English font face and you have 27 pages of different fonts. That's impressive. You have font size, everything changes live in the background. You can long press on something and it highlights. You then have highlight, copy, annotation, dictionary, text-to-speech. This thing is loaded with features. Bookmarks are at the top. You can box big series of text as well and do the same functionality. Clicking on the center up top, you get side-by-side writing, which I'll show you in a second. Go back, dictionary, table of contents, and search. Side-by-side is a great note-taking feature because you can actually read your EPUB or Mobi or any sort of ebook on the left and take important notes on the right. So you can say John is a very important character, and you can actually expand this to do things like thicker lines and everything else that we'll show you in the note-taking experience. But this is a very good application, this side-by-side. Alternatively, if you use the Kindle Light, which is basically a stripped-down version of the full app, you do get a very good reading experience from Amazon, but you don't have any of the page-turn animations. You don't even have long press, dictionary, translation, X-ray, anything. They've stripped it down to just night mode and font size. Font size is really cool. It works really quick. However, once you click save, it actually has to go through the entire book under the new font size, so it can take a little bit of time.
This is Instagram Lite. It's a stripped down version of the main app. Pretty well just shows you pictures like in your timeline and things like that. You can initiate A2 mode to scroll faster if you want, but generally, like, you want to see the pictures and the comments that, like, people read. But you could read, you can like, you can comment, you can kind of weigh in and things like that. Firefox Rocket is a really stripped down version of a web browser. This is the keyboard. Feels pretty natural.
Pretty quick. Google loads pretty quick.
But the real test is clicking on a website.
About 3 seconds. Click on an article. Another 2-3 seconds. Pretty snappy.
Yeah.
There's so much to cover here. If you want to see every single one of these, you can check out our dedicated note-taking videos. We'll try to do as much as we can. You can see on Paintbrush, you can have levels of pressure sensitivity. So the stronger you press, the more bleed from the paintbrush you have. You also have pencil, which allows you to do a little bit more sketching type things. You have some geometric shapes to make circles and so forth. You even have color. Now, it doesn't really show up on the screen, but it effectively erases what you've written or switches the color from black ink to white ink. This is probably the go-to because you can do a lot of things from sheet music and make your next sonata. I'm not the best at writing music, or you can go to just regular lines or graphing or pretty much anything else you want on here. It's very customizable. This is an interesting feature too. If you type A in the middle of the screen, it throws it up to the corner. Even if you were to do a signature or something, it types basically whatever you've written on the screen. All right, let's see some writing then. This is the Onyx Note Plus. A lot of people ask us to write small and big, so we hope that kind of clears the air. It's very responsive. It's very fluid. You can see it doesn't play catch up even when you're writing very quickly. Erasing is really easy as well. You just flip the eraser or flip to the eraser side of the stylus and just swipe over everything.
The Onyx Boox Note Plus is great if you want a scratch-resistant digital note-taking device. It has Android 6, so a ton of functionality. The speakers are great, but it also has, Bluetooth and things like that for wireless accessories, wireless keyboards, and things like that. For goodereader.com and a review of the Onyx Boox Note Plus. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.